Hi, Virgo Sun and Rising. Welcome to your March 2025 Astro Update. It's Rena here. Well, the big news for Virgo is that you're going to have a lunar eclipse in your sign, and this is the first eclipse in the series of eclipses between you and Pisces. And we've already had one in Pisces. And now we're featuring you, and it's a lunar eclipse, which is a powerful full moon at 24 degrees of Virgo. Almost 24. It's like um, 23 degrees, 50 minutes, 50 something minutes. So if you have the sun or ascendant at this degree, then for sure you might really feel this. This will be a true conjunction for you. But for all Virgo people, this is something that you are experiencing. And so let's just start at the beginning of the month. The month begins with a Venus retrograde at 10 degrees of Aries. Now, at the end of February, because I'm recording this at the beginning of February, but at the end of February, the last week, Mars goes direct at 17 degrees of Cancer. So it isn't long before another personal planet goes retrograde. And this time we're talking about Venus. And so for Virgo people, this is going to fall in your eighth house. The eighth house in astrology is ruled by Scorpio, and it deals with other people's money as well as metaphysical topics. Actually, the main topic I would say is transformation or personal alchemy, but that can come in the form of shamanism, paganism, the occult. So astrology and the tarot are considered part of that. And metaphysical pursuits like the secrets of the universe, that kind of thing, is definitely scorpionic. Channeling, getting in touch with the dead, and I'm putting that in quotes. They're not dead, they're just in a different dimension and they're disembodied. So when Venus is retrograding, and this is a house of other people's money, and so Venus is about money. When Venus retrogrades in this sector, there can be something going on with money that you may be connected to in some way, but other people are as well. It could be your spouse's money, and somehow that is kind of like, or even if like your relationship to that money. So an example would be, let's say you're a Virgo person and your marriage is on the rocks, but this other person makes a lot of money and you have gotten accustomed to a certain lifestyle. You may feel like, okay, which is worse? Is it worse for me to move from a McMansion to a studio apartment, or is it worse to have my partner cheating on me, humiliating me, calling me names to try to absolve themselves of guilt and kind of justify cheating on me and all these things? Is that humiliation worth maintaining this lifestyle? That Venus is what you value. And so for Virgo people who may value, the material more than their own self-esteem, maybe they will choose to stay in such a situation. I don't think that that is going to be true. I'm giving you just like one possibility, but I don't think that Virgo people as a whole are into that lavish lifestyle. if you're a sun in Virgo and you have Mars and maybe some personal planets in Leo, that might be, or even Libra, that might be a little bit tempting. So I can't say that for sure, but in general, I think Virgo people are pretty good at living simply. And so, anyway, you could be also, for some people, some money that you thought was earmarked for you, or you find out about this money, there may be other things going on and you can't collect right now. Maybe you thought you could collect and something comes along and kind of changes that. On the third of the month, Mercury goes into Aries. So Mercury is coming into this house. And that could have you thinking about this issue, whatever this issue is, or just in general, being a deep thinker and maybe being even a little bit, to me, there's always like a paranoia with Mercury in Scorpio or Mercury in the eighth house. And like even if you have it in your natal chart, because the natural inclination is to be suspicious of everything. I have the sun there, and I just realized since I've been doing these readings how much I am like that, where I'm, with my partner, like, I think he doesn't like that aspect of me, and I don't even know I'm doing it. Now I'm a little bit more aware, where I'm just like, okay, giving him the third degree, because it's just like second nature to like kind of question what people have been up to, that kind of thing. So definitely that could be you, but there could be tied to some money that is going awry for some reason. On the 14th, there's a that's that lunar eclipse in your sign, almost 24 degrees of Virgo. This is a major letting go, because this is in the first house. Now, this is a general reading. Some of you who, let's say, your ascendant is 23 degrees of Virgo, that would be in your 12th house. But in a certain way, the 12th and the first houses can be similar themes of letting go of yourself, but the 12th house would be more like the inner self, and the first house would be more like something that is on display that other people can witness as well. So it might be some kind of tendencies that you have, like one that I use a lot for a sign, like if your ascendant is Virgo, you may have a tendency to let people walk all over you because you're trying to be accommodating and you want to be helpful, and yet you're experiencing a certain pattern over and over again that you don't want, that's unwanted. So this can be very good for just letting go of those kinds of tendencies. And the universe can help you do this. It can be, it can actually be anything that occurs in an area of your life that changes your life as a whole. So even if you have some kind of major life change, like you retire, and it's like a part of you is, like a part of your identity is kind of kaput. That could be what's going on. Or if you, actually, a big one could be getting married, or, I mean, you might not actually get married at that time. You might get engaged, or you might move in with someone. And because when there's a full moon, or in this case, a lunar eclipse, the sun is opposing it from the opposite sign, opposite house at the same degree. So this would be the seventh house of committed partnership, and this would be like you would stop being a single person, and or like just even committing, if you've especially if you were someone, let's say you're a Virgo person who's in your late 30s and you managed to avoid getting um, bogged down in a serious love relationship and you finally cave, and this is your caving time. I want to make it clear that the date of the lunar eclipse is officially on March 14th, but for some of you this experience may occur in February, a month earlier, which is funny because Valentine's Day is exactly a month earlier than that. And maybe even in April for some people, or kind of like beyond March. And remember that in the tarot, the Hermit card is connected to Virgo. So some of you may be kind of late bloomers when it comes to love. Maybe you're just workaholics and you finally get around to it. Maybe you want to start a family or whatever. You just fall in love. And so this could be a very dramatic time for you. The very next day on the 15th, Mercury, your ruler, goes retrograde at 9 degrees of Aries. This is very significant because the solar eclipse later in the month is going to be at 9 degrees of Aries, and the Venus retrograde was at 10 degrees of Aries. So there's something about that 9 to 10 degrees of Aries that is really featured and will, at the time of the solar eclipse, start to kind of flesh out what is going on. And this, again, is that eighth house. And a big part of the eighth house is transformation. So, yes, now that I think about it, it could be that Virgo, with this lunar eclipse, that this is a very big aspect of you transforming yourself, but from the ground up. And so this Mercury retrograde could also involve, researching something. If this is about money, you may become a detective and you may be kind of sifting through the receipts and everything to find out what went wrong, what's going on with this. Like it could be like your partner's money. If you find out that there's something going on with them, who knows? It could be a will that, seems a little bit suspicious. If you feel like you're getting less money and you just are trying to figure this out. So, yeah. And then on the 20th, the sun goes into Aries. That's the astrological new year. But we have these retrogrades, so it may feel like things are still up in the air. And the reason it's the astrological new year is because Aries is in the template of the chart, the universal chart. Aries is the first house. So when the sun goes there at 0 degrees of Aries, and that changes from year to year, that kicks off the astrological new year. And so again, this is your 8th house, and this house of transformation. This may be an area that is very significant for you in 2025 about maybe reinventing yourself. On the 27th, Venus goes retrograde back into Pisces, so it's back into the 7th house. And on the 29th, Mercury goes back into Pisces. So they're going to be very close in degrees, and they're both in that 7th house. Now, the 7th house is the house of relationships, marriage, and the equivalent, but it's also the house of legal affairs. So here we have this 8th house activity with Venus and Mercury, and going back into the 7th house. This could be, that you have to do something that involves the legal system and lawyers and the legal documents and that kind of thing. So just understand that could be what's going on. And when it's because we had the Venus and the Mercury retrograde in the 8th house, if you are someone who has gotten engaged, let's say, and maybe, like I said, Maybe it didn't happen in March, maybe it happened in February. You may be rethinking things based on your concept of intimacy, because the eighth house can be intimacy. So, an example would be you get engaged to someone. I feel like it's so old fashioned to say, to imagine that people get engaged, but they do. And I'm just trying to say the time before the actual marriage. Let's say you get engaged to someone and you are planning to marry them, but you have this, I don't know, these kinds of, what I forgot what they call it, where it's like, you know, you're feeling that something is off. You're feeling that it really isn't anything deep enough. Maybe you feel like you can't have the kind of conversations that you want to have with this person, and you think that maybe this is a red flag, that this person is not forthcoming, and this is not going to be good. This is not a good omen for a relationship to really flourish. And if anything like that were to be the case, that is something to really pay attention to. So anyway, let's see. The very same day that Mercury goes back into the seventh house, we have that solar eclipse at 9 degrees of Aries in the eighth house. This is like the phoenix rising from the ashes. This is you feeling this rebirth. The very next day, Neptune goes into this house, this eighth house. Oh my goodness. Wow. Neptune will go back into Pisces. It's not going to stay in Aries, and it does have, it is a generational planet, so it is quite a long transit for sure. And this will mean that when it goes into the eighth house, it really can, for some people, it can create confusion with your spouse's income or other people's money. So I was talking about these scenarios, like with whatchamacallit, with like the activity in the eighth house. If you have any kind of deception, Neptune is about deception. Now, leaving your seventh house, some Virgo people may have experienced some deception in a committed partnership. So you may be happy to see this leave that area, because it can be very upsetting and problematic. Like if you trusted someone and they were very deceptive and they were not who they claimed to be, yeah, I mean, that's not okay. So, but when it's in your eighth house, it could still involve a spouse and their money. Like they may be doing something with their money, they may be hiding some of it so that you don't know the full extent of what they make. They may be um, maybe they, or if it's like a family member and it has to do with a will, being deceptive with that. So be prepared for that possibility, but also the eighth house can be this personal alchemy, and Neptune adds this mysticism to it, and you may really advance spiritually during this transit. And so, anyway, that's what I have for you, Virgo. I hope that this resonated. If you'd like a private reading, I'm promoting my double readings called my deep dive readings. They're my most popular readings. I'm talking about, well, I don't know, maybe they probably are my most popular readings overall. And it's a package deal, so you're going to save money. It's an hour of natal chart analysis, an hour of transits for the upcoming 12 months, which now, because of 2025 already getting started, is going into 2026, to give 12 months time span. And then so it's like transits plus chart analysis. I have the moon in Virgo, so I'd like to think I'm pretty analytical with these kinds of issues. And I also have other types of readings, like career life path types of readings and love readings. You can find out more information at the link below. Thank you for listening. Bye.